Well, after we ran the Germans out of North Africa, then we bombed two little islands, Limpari and Pantelleria, and we bombed them so heavily that they actually gave up to the Air Force without any ground operations at all. They came out one time with, when people were coming over on a bombing raid, waving sheets that they gave up. So they sent people ashore, and they had given up.
And those were Germans or Italians?
Well, they were Germans and Italians, and then we softened up Sicily, and eventually moved on to Sicily, and then pushed them off of Sicily, and then we started bombing Italy. When we were softening up Sicily, I remember one week especially, just before the invasion of Sicily, we had a B-25 over Palermo Harbor every night for a week, every 5 minutes, in the dark, dropping bombs on the harbor to keep them from landing stuff to help them with. To They knew they were going to be invaded, and we didn't want them stocking up on stuff. So, so we tried to keep them from landing stuff at night. Well, of course, they knew we were coming, and they knew when we were coming and about how often we were coming. And they had 30 some odd searchlights out there just combing the air, hunting for us. They had night fighters up there trying to shoot us out of the air. That was a tough target. We used to talk about what would we do if we got caught in those searchlights. And as you approached this target, 50 miles out, you could see it and see all the action and see some guys get caught in a searchlight. And as soon as one searchlight got on a guy, all the other searchlights would come in, so that he was trapped. So we used to say, well, if you get caught in a searchlight, dive at the thing, and then he's stationary. And then pull out, maybe he can't follow you. And so that was what we figured was our best strategy. And a friend of mine did that one night. And when he pushed the nose down, he pushed it down so hard and so fast that the bombardier who was making his bomb run he had gotten out of his harness and was leaning over his bomb sight. Well, when the pilot pushed the stick forward, that guy's head hit the canopy so hard it knocked him out. But the plane, he didn't pull the throttle either, which he should have. But he was when that searchlight hits you, it's a whiteout. You can't tell where you're just completely disoriented. You don't know what side's up or what's going on or anything. And he didn't pull the throttle, but then he did chop the throttle. But he was in a power dive, and it went into a power spin, and of course he stopped the throttle. He and the co-pilot went through all of the routine that you use to get out of a spin, and it wouldn't come out. And he told everybody to bail out. Well, when you're in a big plane like a B-25 and you're in a spin, the centripetal force is so bad it just pins you in your seat and you can't move. But the co-pilot was one of these muscle building guys, and he was strong enough to pull himself out of the seat and bail out. And don't you know, shortly after he did that, that plane came out of that spin all by itself. And they had started in the thing at 10,000 feet. They were at 2,000 feet. There's mountains there at 4,000 feet. And this is in the dark. They were out of the searchlight. And the pilot was able to find his way through the mountains and get back to the base. And when they landed, they found out that every piece of plexiglass in its frame. None had popped out, but they all were crazed all around from that dive and that spin. And the bombardier came to just about the time they landed.